Hey, what's up, guys? Wolf here. Semifinal match versus Ryan rematch that we were hoping for. So, we used the first match to scout out exactly the type of play style he had, as well as what types of things he would bring. While I don't believe he's going to be bringing the same things from last week to this week, I have a good indication that he's probably going to bring a lot of them. The only thing that I'm pretty sure he's going to bring is Metagross. He didn't bring that last week, and I don't know why, because Metagross is absurd, but we're expecting it this week because it's the most powerful thing he's got, and even though we have bulky waters to combat against it, I still have a good idea that he's going to bring it with, say, like Thunder Punch or something like that, so we need to have an answer to it, or else we're just going to fall flat to it. So, first up, one of the main new heat sets for this week, we got our Melodic. We're running competitive in case he brings Crocodile, with leftovers obviously for the defense. Scald and Recover, pretty standard. Icy Wind instead of Ice Beam because we want a little bit more speed control more than actually having Ice Beam. We have Ice Beam on other things for things like Zapdos or, again, Crocodile or something like that. We have Scald for that. So we're using more for the utility than we are for the actual damage aspect. Mirror Coat's the interesting addition, though. With the current EV spread that we have, it allows us to take on Manphy, which otherwise just sets up on this set for days. The EV spread with 28 in special defense and Calm Nature allows us to take a +3, survive it, and then Mirror Coat to be able to kill it because the damage is going to be like 60 to 80%, give or take. So enough to live through Stealth Rocks or something like that and still be able to take out Manphy without any problems. So EV spread, as we touched on, we have the 28 with Calm on special defense, 176 special attack. This is the way it is because with the competitive boost from Crocodile, it allows us to just barely get the OHKO on a couple of standard defensive stuff, say Porygon Z or something like that. If we don't get the competitive boost, it still is just enough to be able to reliably one-hit shot Crocodile that might have, say, Moxie with Scald. Then we have 92 defense, a little bit of extra bulk to reliably survive a guaranteed 2-hit kill against Metagross, and then 212 HP is just some overall bulk. Goodra is going to be one of the main ways we take care of Electros with. Most of his threats are special based, Porygon Z, Zapdos, Manphy, things like that. So Electros is almost always going to be physical, especially considering that Ryan from the DC Digletts loves knockoff, which means we're going to have ample opportunities to be able to set up with counter. So we're running a standard Assault Vest set. We are running Gooey. I don't think that he's going to fall for the Energy Ball trick shenanigans to be able to switch into Goodra again. And since we learned from last week that Sap Sipper doesn't really do anything to special anyways, we might as well run Gooey in case he runs the physical sets like Electros or Metagross, things like that. So Draco Meteor for stab boost, one-shots Porygon Z, Thunderbolt and Ice Beam for Bolt Beam coverage versus the majority of the rest of his team, and then counter versus Electros again to reliably one-hit kill that if it tends to hit us with, say, knockoff. Which is why we have the 100 defense EVs, even though normally I would run a special defense set or full HPs. So we're running almost full HP, the 100 defense to reliably take a hit from Electros and Metagross, and then the rest in special attack with a Modest Major for extra power. Again, to reliably one-hit kill things like Porygon Z with Draco Meteor. Our second bulky water, Vaporeon, again with leftovers. Water Absorb, obviously over hydration because Water Absorb is just better. It also has random utility switch-in value versus things like Manphy. Wish, Protect, and Scald, again standard for what I run. The difference is instead of Toxic, I'm running Yawn this time. If for whatever reason Manphy or something like that gets out of control, I want to be able to have a way to get it to either switch or put it to sleep so I can take it out. So that's kind of the reason why I'm running Yawn today. In terms of spreads, I'm running a little bit heavier on the physical side this time to counter things like Electros or Metagross, because I am afraid of Metagross. Not as worried about things like Zapdos and Manphy because I have Goodra and Melodic for that stuff, so I can afford to run a little bit heavy on the physical side. And then obviously we're running Bolt to help cement the physical defense. Fourth member, we're running Nidoking. We're running back to the Focus Sash lead, Suicide lead, which necessitates Poison Point instead of Sheer Force. We got Stealth Rocks, obviously a standard set. Earthquake for coverage against things like Torkoal. Not a lot of other coverage that'll do good against, but it's good for the Pokemon that I actually want to hit with that I'm not going to hit with Super Fang, which is the next move. Super Fang is going to be a lot stronger against things like Zapdos, again Torkoal, Electros, things that I would normally want to hit with a stab boost. Super Fang just does more, especially when I'm spec'd for against speed, being a suicide lead or something like that. Fourth move being Sucker Punch. He didn't really play around Sucker Punch in the first match. Some extra priority I think will really help, especially since some of my moves don't always guarantee get the kill. So I want to be able to cement that if for whatever reason he rapid spins rocks or something like that. So same spread I always do, basically for Suicide Lead, 252 Jolly Speed, and then 252 in whatever attack stat I happen to be using. Mega Lopunny, one of our main setup sweepers. We have to have, I think, 2 on this one, just because he's got so much bulk and so many different answers for everything we have, especially since Manphy kind of walls Lopunny as well as Torkoal. So we need to have an answer to both of those, and that answer is Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave gives us not only speed control, the 50% chance of just negating their turn. It stops things like Tail Glow after it's been activated, because I can just come in and revenge kill. It stops a lot of the Metagross. Metagross is very vulnerable to status, so it's kind of a catch-all. The added benefit is that it works very well with Power Up Punch. Things that are Thunder Waved, obviously the 50% turn negation. Power Up Punch is a good time to set up, and then Drain Punch again for synergy with Power Up Punch to negate all the health that I had lost before. And then we got Return for better stab coverage after we've boosted. Spread. When it comes to league play, I don't like to run anything other than Adamant on Lopunny because Lopunny outspeeds pretty much everything after it Mega Evolves. So running anything other than an attack stat, Adamant nature, just doesn't make any sense. I'm not worried about any Scarf threats or anything like that because Lopunny can actually take a decent amount of damage and counteract with just about anything. Last Pokemon, to fill the team. Defensive Sizer that just happens to have Defog. Although, now that I think about it, I don't need Defog. I should just run Swords Dance instead. Normally I'd run defensive with Defog if I was running Talonflame. But since I'm not running Talonflame, I don't really need Defog. About half of my team just doesn't really care. I mean, Nidoking, Lopunny, and Sizer don't care about rocks. They take half damage from rocks, and the other 3 take regular damage from rocks, so rocks aren't a huge issue. Being able to have that second setup sweeper, on the other hand, is very important, like I mentioned earlier. So, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, and U-Turn. U-Turn, obviously, for momentum. Running leftovers, which I tend to prefer when you're doing setup sets. Even though I have Roost full defensive sets, I really like having the leftovers because just walls physical threats. Basically, anything named Mega Metagross or Electros, this thing stops cold. So that's kind of the team plan. Whether it works or not, I don't know. Ryan's a very tough opponent. I had a lot of trouble with him last time. We had kind of a close match last game, but overall he kind of took the game and took all the momentum. So the objective today is to kind of surprise him with counter and mirror coat and see if we can knock off a few of his choice threats like Manphy, Zapdos, Mega Metagross, and then use our setup sweepers to clean up. So let's see how that goes.
Alright, we're back. So, no Mega Metagross, which is surprising. However, he does have Gothitelle. That's actually really interesting. Some type of goth trapping, maybe. I guess it'd be kind of worrisome if it was maybe a Calm Mind setup with Trick. Thankfully, I have priority with Nidoking, Sucker Punch, Bullet Punch, things like that, so that won't be as big of a deal. Porygon, Electros, Torkoal. No Crocodile, so competitive may not be too much of a deal unless he's got Defog on Zapdos. So Manphy's probably his main setup poke, which is going to be good because if I can take that down, that's going to take a lot of his offense out. Electros and Porygon Z will be his other major offensive variants. Electros I'll just have to take out normally. Porygon Z I have Mirror Coat for instance. So, what to do? I can lead Nidoking, and if he goes Gothitelle, I can Super Fang Sucker Punch it. Or I could just Earthquake. Because its bulk isn't the best. Alternatively, I can Lopunny and Thunder Wave to lead. That's kind of weak, though. I like Nidoking here. I like the potential rock setup. If he traps with Gothitelle, that's fine, because I can outspeed. Because if he leads with Gothitelle, then I'll just Sucker Punch him. Or Super Fang, even. Yeah, I'm going to lead Nidoking here. Zapdos lead is fine. I'm going to Stealth Rock here. Worst thing you can do is Heat Wave. Or some type of Whirlwind. So, it's a good time to set up rocks. Alternatively, I can Super Fang right off the bat. But I'd rather set up rocks first. I'm expecting a switch here, possibly to Manphy, maybe even to Gothitelle for the trap. Forgot to wish my opponent good luck. Extra sensory, that's clever. Alright. I'm game. So we got Goodra here. I want to keep Vaporeon, or Melodic ready for Manphy, so I'm hesitant to switch into Melodic and get, say, a Mirror Coat boost or something like that. I mean, it could be possible, but I'd rather switch into Goodra here. Eat that up. So, Zapdos. Maybe a defog here. Maybe a Volt Switch. If he has a Volt Switch, he could Volt Switch into something like Manphy, in which case Thunderbolt might be better. Go into Gothitelle too. I don't know, I kind of like the double switch into Lopunny here. Or even Sizer. Let's see what he Volt Switches into. Oh, okay. Just a flat switch. That's fine. So with 9%, he's almost definitely an Assault Vest variant. So, switching to Nidoking could potentially be good here. Physical move, maybe a knockoff here. Knockoff wouldn't really tell me one way or another, but from there I can go into something like Vaporeon and Yawn. Or even into Lopunny and start setting up. I'm actually fine switching to Nidoking here. Yep. Get the poison point, alright. That'll work. So we got the Lopunny. I like the idea of Power Up Punch now. But I also like the idea of, yeah, Power Up Punch seems solid, I think. I mean, he can go into Zapdos, but I have to Mega Evolve, I think. Well, no, I don't, because if he Volt Switches into Zapdos, I'll still outspeed, because my Nidoking outspeeded, so we know he's not max. Which means if I stay outside of Mega Evolve and Power Up Punch, if he tries to Thunder Wave, that's overthinking, I think. I think Mega Evolution's fine here, and then just Power Up Punch straight up. Yep, that's fine. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to Thunder Wave here, even though I know he might Scald. Because I know he's not expecting it. And I'm pretty sure right here Tail Glow or Scald would be the play he'd make. So if I Thunder Wave, Power Up Punch into Drain Punch, and hope I get Paralyzed, like some sort of paralyzing support, I think is the play. Because I really highly doubt he's Scarfed. This has got to be one of his setups, so he's got to be definitely a Tail Glow, probably 2 or 3 attack variant. Sure. Got the burn again, are you kidding me? Well, I can Power Up Punch again, but if I do, then I risk potentially being able to live Threw another Scald. Alternatively, I could Drain Punch. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of saving. Potentially Thunderwave something later on. I could always switch into Melodic here. And just go for a Mirror Coat. Kudra's the better play though. Because I can Thunderbolt. That's hard. If I power up Punch again, I go to normal damage, but with that type of damage from power up Punch, there's no way I'm going to be draining anything relevant. I almost got to keep Drain Punching here and hope he gets paralyzed. Healed a decent amount. Oh, so he's got Heal Bell. Alright, that's clever. Thunderwave, I think, is still the better play even though he has Heal Bell. 50% paralyzing is just outstanding right now. Yep, that's fine. Drain Punch actually will heal me above the 12%. That's fine. I'm gonna Thunderwave again though. It forces him to use a Heal Bell. And allow me to kill with Gudra. Losing my main sweeper is kind of a problem, but it is what it is, I guess. Right here, I'm going to go Melodic. I'm going to expect any of the special attackers to come in. I'm going to try and pick something off with Mirror Coat from here. So, I'm definitely going to go for a Scald here reliably. I wonder if he's thinking about trying to stay in. Oh, okay. So he was trying to go for Manphy. From here, since he's got Energy Ball, he might Tail Glow first and then Energy Ball. So I'm going to Icy Wind first. Yep. From here, if he goes for an Energy Ball, I will live it because of my items. So from here, I'm going to Mirror Coat it, guarantee the kill. Goodbye. Get into my opponent's head a little bit. So what's his next play? Probably Zapdos. Maybe Electros here. I don't think Zapdos is going to want to switch into Rocks. He'll probably come in with the Electros or maybe a Revenge Kill Porygon. I'm thinking, I bet he's wondering if he wants to Goth here or Electros or Porygon Z. He's got 3 options. Goth would do almost nothing to me. Unless he just plans on trying to Revenge Kill with Thunderbolt and surviving a Scald with Bulk. If he goes Gothitelle, I'll switch into Scizor, but Porygon Z means that he's probably going to try and Revenge Kill, so I'm going to switch to Goodra here. Yep. Not doing crap, bro. I think Ice Beam is probably the play here. Or I could just drop a Meteor and switch. Because I don't think he's going to Goth here. He's probably going to Electros again. So, drop a Meteor here I think is a safe play. Yeah, that's fine. That takes care of his potential Scarfer. So, now I can probably win the Speed War with Scizor's Bullet Punch. Beat me last match too, don't worry, buddy. Revenge is sweet. So his next play, I almost think he'd have to Goth here. But I guess Torkoal's fine too. Gonna go into Melodic here. Because, I mean, Rocks is fine. I mean, Rapid Spin, okay, that makes sense. I want to get a cool recover off, though. Recover's definitely good here. Bling! Alright. So, Zapdos could Thunderbolt. But if I Icy Wind, I'll have speed control and I can recover from there. Yep. I'm gonna switch to Goodra this time. Eating those Thunderbolts up. I don't want to drop a Meteor just because if he stays in, that could be problematic. So I kind of want to Ice Beam right here. Because I know he's going to switch. That's fine. Thunderbolt should actually kill here. If Ice Beam did 17 on a or 18 on a resist, Thunderbolt should kill for 33. Puts us up 4-3. So, Gothitelle here maybe? Can't be Zapdos. Maybe Electros for a Drain Punch. Yep, there's Gothitelle. So we know it can probably trick or calm mind. So ideally we just want to get it as low as possible so we can knock it off with Sizer. That's the game plan. So we're going to Draco here. Okay, so side shot good. That's really good for us. So, since we outsped with Gudra at 196, we know he's not max speed. He might be bulk. I can't live a flamethrower. Does Gothitelle get flamethrower? I'm not sure if it does or not. Let's check that out. Move list. Thanks to the internet. Definitely gets Calm Mind. Does not get Flamethrower. You can get HP Fire maybe. And knowing Ryan, that could be potential. Could potentially be a problem. Otherwise, I mean, Melodic could clean up here. What if it's got, say, Rest or something like that? I don't know. I don't have faith he's got HP Fire. I think I'll be okay. I think knockoff's safe here. Yep. Get rid of the leftovers. He's definitely got the Heat Wave here. Yep. Roost is fine. I'm going to yawn here because I can take a hit with Thunderbolt. And I'll put him to sleep. We're going to protect here. Or we can just go into Sizer. If we go into Sizer and he stays in and tries to Thunderbolt, we can live Swords Dance and then sweep. We still don't know if he has Trick though. But he can't stay in against a knockoff. So I feel almost safe Swords Dancing here. Zapdos is fine. I think Zapdos is going to kill us here though. Because he's got to have Heat Wave. Might be able to crit off Bullet Punch, but I don't foresee anything happening otherwise. I have to sack Sizer here. Because with Vaporeon I can protect, get the double leftovers, and wish up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a choice. I gotta protect here. I actually have to double protect. Thunderbolt earlier did, let's see, 64%. Good game. I made a mistake with the Torque hole bringing in Gudra. If I would have brought in Melodic and recovered up, I would have been able to mirror coat this. Not mirror coating earlier and killing Zapdos was the misplay. If I would have done that, I would have won. Good game. Well, a 322 special defense. No, he should still be able to kill. Yeah, good game.